This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning to all. We will start in 5 minutes. We leave access to the rest of the people, and then in 5 minutes we can start.
Hi everyone, good evening.
Hello. Hello, Leah. So it's 5:05, so I think we can start. Is the sound good? Nicole, okay, good, perfect. So I introduce myself first, and then Nicola Ferrario, which is with us, I'll introduce him, and so he can speak a bit about what he's doing. And this the core element today within this webinar. I am Jose Maria de Juan from Koan Consulting. We are members of the organization supporting us in this webinar, which is the International Social Tourism Organization based in Brussels. We are part of the organization and also part of the board, and this is the reason we decided to support this International Week for Fair and Sustainable Tourism. Is an initiative with the International Social Tourism Organization. Is organizing since 2020. We started doing that during the pandemics, because normally we at the International Social Tourism Organization, we are used to have one of our international congresses every 2 years. During the pandemic, we had to stop that because we had a congress foreseen for Peru early in 2020. It was impossible. Then we decided to do this week instead, and at the end we keep both. We will have our congress in Azores in October, and then we continue every year because we found it was a very good opportunity for all our members, and also not only members of the ISTO, but also every kind of networks and collaborators. What we do in the organization, I have to mention it for sure because they are our sponsors, so to say. International Social Tourism Organization, what we do is especially to work in favor of the tourism for all, meaning for all. So there are areas and task forces within the organization working on gender equality. We just published, by the way, a charter on gender equality in tourism, which is will be published very soon. It was announced yesterday, where we had our General Assembly. Also, we have a task force, which is where I work under my president, Mauricio Davolio, is the task force on responsible tourism. We have also groups working in accessibility, working with tourism with the migrants, and with initiatives like Migrant Tour. So the idea is something which is fair for everybody, so everybody has the occasion and the possibility of having good holidays, not just something in a poor manner, but we defend that the dignity of the human beings should allow the access to the tourism for everybody. This is part sometimes of a contradiction, because in the other side, for example, after this webinar, we will talk about how to decarbonize the travel and how to reduce the emissions of the carbon of the travel. So sometimes it's a small contradiction. We want more people to travel. At the same time, we want to produce less emissions, so we have to find a solution. But this will be part of the next of the other webinar. And it is very important to say that we are an organization working all over the world. We have ISTO Americas, we have ISTO Africa. They are also both organizations pretty active, and then we decided to join in the year 2017 because we were members of the EARTH, the European Alliance for Responsible Tourism and Hospitality. My company was a founder of that, together with other organizations. And then at some point, we had a very good relationship with the International Social Tourism Organization. They were missing a bit more the ecotourism and the responsible tourism side, the environmental side too, and we were missing a bit the social side of the tourism. So we decided to merge in 2015. We made the final merge in 2017, and since that time we work together. We are very happy to do. We are very happy to be under this organization. So once this is said, why are we organizing this seminar today? Where we did invite our colleagues of Green Destinations Good Travel Program, which is something that Nicola Ferrario, my colleague here, which is deputy coordinator for Europe of the Good Travel Program. I am also part of the team, but it will be the team of our technicians and supporters that Nicola will introduce later. They will be the ones running the presentation on the program. But before doing that, I think it's important to say why. It's something that for ages I have been working with Green Destinations as a representative also of Travel Life for tour operators in Spain, and for many years discussing with our partners, discussing with the destinations, discussing with the tourism sectors. We were always a bit worried that most of the systems, most of the labels, to do it in brief, they are in general pretty expensive, in many cases. In other cases, they are complicated. In other cases, they are not suitable for small businesses, or they are not suitable to the diversity of every kind of small companies or guides, associations of small transport companies we found all over the world. We have been around 20 years working in tourism cooperation for development in around 50 countries. Then we identified very different problematics depending on the diversity, from the social point of view, the gender, the religion, the culture, the ethnic differences. And then at the end, one of our main worries is that the current systems in the market, they are a bit more North America centric or European centric, sometimes too much, and it was necessary to build something which is simple, something which is not expensive, something which has been developed in collaboration with representatives from all over the world, which is suitable for every kind of small businesses. Nicola and the team, for sure, they will get deeper into that, but this the Good Travel Program is and the whole things around, which is not just a label, is much more than that, and you will find it out in some minutes. Is at least a very good part of the answer to that. We just launched it some months ago, so to say, officially, after all the preparation. We also consider that many other labels, they come from what they did in the past decades. They were built for the big hotel industry, for example, and so they did an adaptation for small businesses or for small hotels. It does not work. We tried this many times, and this does not work, because initially, if they are considered, they are designed for the big hotel industry or for a big destinations. At the end, just taking out some indicators does not work. We needed to do it from the scratch, which is the case, which is something which is designed specifically for every kind of small businesses. We can give some more detail on that after, which is something simple to access, which can start with a simple score, which for sure ensures to the companies joining that the possibility, if they want, they can continue, they can progress, and they can arrive to a complete certification scheme. But initially, what we provide is something very simple. And the other lack we have been identifying for ages in many other systems is that they were a bit isolated from the everyday problems of the companies. So we try to propose, and Nicola will explain, and Nicola and the team will explain that, to really accompany the companies to ensure that we will be present in many international events, in the main international events related to tourism and sustainable tourism. This is something which is totally missed in other labels. They exist, but you never see them organizing an event in the international trade fairs, for example. So they are really not giving visibility, not giving the opportunity to make visible to the companies joining the label. Also, we try to escape from this system that it happened many times in the developing countries, where there is some public money or some money from some international cooperation program. Then everybody joins the system because it's paid by some program, and then after 2 years, the program is over, the money is over, and everybody leaves the label. And then I have seen that in many countries in Latin America. And then once the program is finished, 90% or more of the companies certified, they abandon the label because they were just there because it was paid by somebody else. This is not the point. So this is something that also we want to avoid with this long-term commitment, and the details will be explained later. And with this world coverage, something, because we have representatives all over the world, we have other networks, not necessarily green destinations or good travel program, working with us in many other things like training, for example, in many countries. So this ensures the knowledge, the understanding of the local culture, the understanding of the local sector. If there is something we don't know, there our representative of our colleague, and then we can ask any particular detail. This is the idea, to make it simple and accessible, and especially to favor the networking, to favor the commercial exchange. Personally, I come from the world of the tour operators, of the product and marketing in tour operators, and I am always very worried that one of these labels, for sure, the base is the sustainability, but also we have to ensure the commercial and economic sustainability. The label has to support and has to help the companies joining to develop a better commercial performance. Oh, sorry, the camera. I thought it was in a bad position. Sorry, I was not looking at the messages, and then now it's better. I think it's quite like something like that. It's not very. Sorry for the position of the camera. And then this is the idea. This is what I wanted to say at this first stage. The idea is that our colleague Nicola start presenting the program. We can introduce in the rest of the team, and then at any moment we can start a debate. When we finish, this is our main aim today, to present this, to raise questions, to raise ideas, to raise any kind of comments, even critics, whatever it is necessary, and then we have time until 6:15 p.m. for this debate. So this is enough from my side. And then Nicola, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jose Maria. Hello to everyone. Can you see me? Can you hear me well? It's good. Okay. So first, thank you very much, Jose Maria, for organizing this event. And thank you for also many thanks to Koan Consulting for the organization. And this is a great opportunity, especially to be able to have a discussion during this very important week dedicated to discussions on topics like responsible, accessible, and sustainable tourism for all. And it's also a great opportunity to talk about some very important topics, which are as important as they are urgent given the challenges that we are facing now with the climate change and especially sustainable development. So my name is Nicola Ferrario. I work for Green Destinations as a Deputy Regional Coordinator for the Good Travel Program, which is one of the many programs and services that Green Destinations offers. And it's very relevant to today's discussions because it's the program, Green Destinations program, dedicated to businesses. And so I will share my screen and just a second so I can share with you my presentation. Can you see? Is it good?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the logo of the Good Travel Program. And today I'm going to present to you what is this program about and how this can be useful to help businesses to be more competitive and more sustainable. And we're going to discuss this from the point of view of what does it mean a certification program for a business of the travel industry. First, just a few words about Green Destinations, which is an international non-profit organization dedicated to the promotion, recognition, and development of sustainable tourism destinations and businesses all around the world. It was established in 2014, and it's based in the Netherlands. In 2016, developed a standard, its own standard of criteria for sustainability, for sustainable tourism, which was recognized by the GSTC, which I guess most of you here will be familiar with, but in any case, it's the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, the highest authority worldwide for sustainable tourism. And 2 years later, it was accredited by the GSTC as a certification body. And one of the strengths of Green Destinations, it's our community, which is a worldwide network connecting destinations, businesses, professionals, and many other stakeholders of the industry. As you can see, we have around almost 100 destinations which are awarded and certified through our programs. And even more, we are talking about more than 400 destinations if we count also those who participated in the top 100 stories program, which is our most accessible program about dedicated to destination storytelling. And also more than 100 businesses certified participating to our Good Travel program that we're going to present today. And this is possible thanks to a network of representatives and partners that allow us to offer our services in more than 90 countries around the world. So let me give you a little bit of context to what we are discussing today, which is especially travelers. So those who are the customers of the tourism industry. And well, there are many reports around there that have been showing for the last years a growing year by year trend regarding the choices of travelers. And as you can see here, we just quoted two of them, Booking and Expedia, that showcase how more than 70% of travelers want to make sustainable choices. And it's growing really fast from year to year because people are getting more and more aware about this topic, and definitely the pandemic had to play a role in it. And what is important for us today is that almost half of these travelers, of the travelers who stayed in sustainable accommodation, did it because they wanted to help the environment and the local community. On the other hand, more than half of these travelers that were interviewed chose not to visit a destination or to use a particular service because they thought their sustainability practices were ambiguous. And so, what are the main questions that businesses should ask themselves in this context? How can I stand out from the crowd as a business? How can I be more competitive and attract more travelers? And how can I tell my sustainability practices to those travelers and customers that care about that? And how to do all that being credible at the same time? And the questions we want to answer also today is, can a certification program help achieving that? The answer is yes, of course. It's a very simple answer. And what you need to make sure of is that you're aligning yourself to what are the main guidelines, the globally recognized principles for sustainable tourism, which have been published and created, revised, and developed after years and years of research and especially discussion among stakeholders by the GSTC. And we are talking in particular about the GSTC criteria, so a set of criteria developed by the organization to help to provide a network, a framework, which can be available worldwide and as a reference for all businesses to start, to improve, and to reach the best possible sustainability performance. And that's what are the Good Travel Seal and Good Travel Seal Plus, which are part of the Good Travel program we're going to see very soon. As you can see here, the criteria for the industry were developed in December 2016 by the GSTC. And we have, together with this criteria, a set of performance indicators for hotels and accommodation on one side, and also another one for the tour operators sector. And so, why all this is important, why a certification program can help, the benefits are obvious, and here are just some of them, which are, for instance, avoiding greenwashing, which is telling to be sustainable without being sustainable, or green hushing, like not communicating properly or even not being aware of your sustainability practices when they are out there. But for the environmental side of this matter, definitely it's very important to have the possibility by joining a program to drastically improve your environmental performance by reducing CO2 emissions and waste production, all at the same time by saving water and energy, and as well as using more green energy, which is energy that comes from renewable sources. And this, on the long term, means, of course, not only helping the environment, but saving money, so improving your business on the long term, all at the same time when improving management, because one thing that is very important when you join such a program is that you gain guidance, you gain knowledge, and especially you gain a set of tools that help you to monitor some key performance indicators about sustainability, which in many cases maybe many businesses haven't ever monitored until that point, or didn't do it so in compliance with global standards. So just by starting to monitoring these KPIs, you're going towards improving your management. And also here, very important is the marketing side of all this, is that you will be able to attract more customers that care about sustainability, which, as we've seen, it's a growing trend, and there will be more and more awareness on this side, while at the same time while improving customer satisfaction by managing better your business and offering more sustainable options. Here you can see some key performance data from the TUI report from a few years ago, and you can see how important is the difference between those hotels who are certified and those who are not certified in terms of emissions, waste, water use, and so on. And now let's have a closer look to our Good Travel program, which is aimed at businesses to support them and to certify and to promote their sustainability practices. So with this program, we offer a variety of tools that guide the businesses to improve their sustainability and also to award them, give them visibility and recognition. You can see here the 4 tools that we are going to see now more in detail. Let me just here mention that there is one tool which is the virus aware seal, which is not strictly connected to sustainability, but more it's a certification that certifies that the business has virus preventive measures. What is the strength of this program is that all of these tools that we offer are transparent, which is, I would say, the most important thing when we talk about sustainability, and we're going to see more examples later. And it's very accessible, feasible, and affordable for all kinds of businesses, from the small to the medium to the big enterprises. And also it's available to all kinds of businesses that recognize themselves in the tourism, in the travel industry. And also very important is that this program is available worldwide, thanks to a global online certification platform. So in every corner of the world, you can join this program. So let's see more in details what we offer. The first of these tools, the most accessible one, is the Good Travel Scan. It is the most accessible because it's based on the 10 universal sustainability criteria. So it's like just a portion of the whole set of criteria of the GSTC standard. And this is very helpful for all those businesses who are taking the first step, are not really sure where they are on their sustainability journey, just want to have a first idea without going further into a more complicated and report. And also it helps them to have like a first glimpse and then to understand better where they are. And you can see here there are some themes that will show you more in details later. What is very important, and this is very much connected to transparency, it's the scorecard that we developed and that we offer to showcase, to communicate the sustainability performance after the assessment of a business. As you can see here, there are 10 themes, so connected to the main principles of sustainability. And this is the way that you can understand how the performance is of a business, from very good to moderate to insufficient to not applicable. And this is very useful to communicate to customers, because you can showcase it in your business physically, but also online on your website, on your social media. And this is a great way to communicate, and I cannot stress enough this point because it's really the most important thing about sustainability, because one should not be afraid to show where it is on the sustainability journey, even if there are many things to improve. The best thing you can do is to communicate it without fear. So showing also, for instance, the parts where you're not doing well or you're not doing enough, because the first step for improvement is to acknowledge where you are. And so, for instance, this example on the good employment. Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, so we are the recording is back. So I was saying that, for instance, here we have a red color on the good employment. That's a great way to understand where you are and to communicate to your customers that you're aware of where you are and that you want to improve, and you have joined a program that gives you all the necessary tools to guide you in the future, and so to improve that. And that's the best that you can do, basically. And it's a challenge, definitely, especially from a marketing perspective, because it's very hard from a marketing perspective to tell what you're not doing or what you're not doing well enough. But as you can see, by joining this program, maybe the next year we'll have a yellow color, and maybe in 2 years you will have a green color, and that's the way you're going to improve your business. The Good Travel Seal. Now we go into a more complete set of criteria, because you can see there are 57 criteria that you have to comply with to be assessed. So it is a sustainability support program that has these criteria divided into 12 themes that we are going to see later. And this is about 2/3 of the GSTC I, as for industry criteria. And this is to make it more accessible to businesses that are maybe already willing to check their performance on a higher level, but still not ready to comply with the full standard. As you can see here, these are the names of the 12 themes, but I'm gonna show them again in a few minutes. And the certification levels here are represented by stars. So we start with 1 star at 50% up until 3 stars. And the full certification is the Good Travel Seal Plus. And this is this full compliance is happens with the additional 14 criteria that added to the previous one, the Good Travel Seal, will reach 100% of the GSTC industry criteria. And so this is the most complete certification you can get. That's why you can reach 4 stars and 5 stars. 5 stars depending on what is your compliance to the standard. Again, here you can see an example of a scorecard, which is a bit more it's a bit different, because it has since it has much more criteria than the Good Travel Scan, which is a scan. This is a full certification program. You see also there are a few more colors for the different levels of compliance. And this, as I mentioned before, the unique benefit of this scorecard is really the transparency. How does it work? I will go very quick in this part, because it's more about technicalities. And definitely, if you have more questions about it, we'll be happy, me and our team, to answer later. But as you can see, these steps, registration, reporting, assessment, audit, and certification, are all managed by an online platform. So it all happens in one place, and this helps a lot coordinating and the program around the world to make it efficient and very easy to use. So you just need a little bit of training and guidance, and then you'll be able to manage all this by yourself from the point of view of a business. What are the benefits? We've seen them before, because we were talking about green travelers. And of course, let's emphasize again that by joining a program like this, you can attract the green tourists. You will definitely have happy guests by improving your management, which will eventually mean also higher ratings. You will reduce your footprint, and you will prepare for the future by making small adjustments, small changes, step by step. Starting today, you will improve your business on the long term, and especially comply with what are the most urgent requirements for fighting the climate change and going towards a sustainable development in the years to come. And as we've seen, communicate your actions and show that you are compliant to the highest standards of responsible tourism worldwide. Other benefits included are, well, to be featured on our Good Travel Guide website, which is the guide where Green Destination has been developing, collaborating with to showcase sustainable destinations and businesses all around the world. And so a business can be promoted through the website, through the Good Travel Guide social media platforms, and also through our communication partners, which you can see here: Sustainable First, ecohotels.com, and Tourism 2030 by Destinet, which are platforms especially developed and targeting those customers and travelers who are really looking for sustainable options. And for those who reach the higher level of certification, GTS Plus, the Good Travel Scan Plus, also they will be eligible to be featured as eco-friendly on Booking.com and Google Travel listings. Here you can see an example of some examples of our Good Travel Guide. You can see here the website goodtravel.guide, showcasing business and destinations for their sustainability practices in all over in 50 countries all over the world. Here's an example how it looks for a business to appear on the website here. Also on the map, we have the business that are marked like this. And when you open the page of a destination, this is the example from Montenegro, Tivat, you will see different businesses. And by clicking on the report, you will see this is an old example. I mean, it's the previous scorecards that we had. You can see it's more detailed. It works well as a report because it has all criteria explained here. And we are right now working on converting all the old scorecards to the new ones that you have seen before. And lastly, the benefits, program benefits of Green for the destinations. So as I mentioned quickly before, we have, as Green Destinations, many programs dedicated to destinations. You can see the names here. The ACP is the Award and Certification Program. The Top 100 is the Storytelling Contest. And Quality Coast is the program for coastal areas. And for the businesses who are located in a destination that is already a member of Green Destination through one of these programs, they will get immediately a 33.3 discount. That's why the reason for this is that for really disseminating practices all over the world and to help a destination to be truly sustainable, we have to connect the destination with the businesses. There will never be a destination that can be completely sustainable without involving the stakeholders and especially the business sector. Because if you think of a traveler, the first place that a traveler will go to when visiting a destination is an accommodation, and then also a restaurant and shops and so on. And this coordination between destinations and businesses is really the core of creating sustainable clusters that will help speed up the process of making destinations sustainable. And now let me just jump to another presentation that I have here to show you what does it mean, what is the criteria that we apply for this program. And we have this presentation here. And so, as you've seen before, the Good Travel Seal and Good Travel Seal Plus that we offer to certify businesses are divided into, well, have a set of criteria which is divided into 12 themes. And I want to show you a little bit more of these themes because I know there are a lot of criteria. We're talking about like 54 criteria for the Good Travel Seal and 71 for the Good Travel Seal Plus. So it's really a lot of information. This can also be seen as like a bit overwhelming at the first time that a business has to confront themselves with this. And so here we can have a closer look to these criteria and themes. So in the top left corner, you will see the name of the theme, and next to it, the SDGs, so the Sustainable Development Goals associated with this theme, and some examples of what does these criteria mean. For instance, let's start with the first one, purchasing and sales, food and beverage. So communicating and giving your customers info on your F&B options, if they are fair trade, vegetarian, vegan, and organic, for instance, or reducing meat consumption by reducing the offer or the purchase of meat products, and also avoiding selling endangered species, or promoting local art and craft work by incorporating it in your design of furniture, for instance, and also giving priority to local products, eco-friendly services, and also local and eco-friendly suppliers. The second one is the social well-being theme. So it's about promoting community services, local ownership, and for instance, also offering internships to local students, and supporting local entrepreneurs and the sale of their sustainable products and services, for instance, all by promoting, supporting local infrastructure and social community development. The third theme is the good employment. And so it's about definitely avoiding human exploitation, promoting good employment like a safe environment, secure a living wage, and overall a healthy environment for the well-being of the employees of the business, like also about offering social security and also regular training. Health and safety is the fourth theme. It's about guaranteeing your customers that they are in a safe location in your business and in the surroundings, ensuring that there are no risks for health and safety hazards, having emergency protocols. Also, in this context of the last years, to have measures against virus transmission, and also to regularly check the water quality, for instance, of your swimming pools. Accessibility, number 5, that's very important. And well, to make sure that you provide access to all people with special needs, and to have clear information about that, and of course to not discriminate any person for any reason. Energy and climate is the 6th theme. And here it's mostly about reducing your energy consumption, having climate-friendly options, using electric cars, and avoiding unnecessary use of energy like the heating or air conditioning, which is a really, really tough topic usually to manage for accommodation businesses, for instance. Waste, number 7, reduce your waste as much as possible, separate it, but not only, also take recycling actions that go beyond separation, and minimizing, or if possible, avoiding the use of single-use disposables, particularly plastic. Water, making good use of water, minimize water consumption, preventing pollution, have a policy for towel, linen, and washing, saving water devices. All this is about this theme, and also sewage treatment, definitely. Number 9 is about pollution and nuisance, reducing your greenhouse gas emissions, limit also other sources of pollution, for instance, noise and light, and also the minimize the use of harmful substances. Nature and scenery, number 10, to be nature friendly, so not damaging your surroundings, but also contributing to biodiversity conservation, and also be sure that you manage responsibly your interaction with wildlife, and also preventing the introduction of invasive species in your area. Quickly, the last 2 themes are the cultural heritage. So it's about protecting local sites, properties, but also the traditions and the culture of historical interest of your territory, by promoting also tours and experiences that are very connected to local culture, and help preserve and also promote it. And well, all this by following national good practices and promoting and supporting indigenous communities. Last one, I don't know why it doesn't show up, so let me just go like this. It's about the information, which is communicating your sustainability performance by reporting your compliance to the global indicators. And this is very well done by joining a program, because at the end of the certification, you will have a report on your sustainability performance, which will be publicly available online or on site. And so let me go back to the presentation for the last point, which is here. To conclude, just a quick, some quick good practices examples that we want to bring you from our certified businesses. You have just 3 examples here. And to help you get an idea of what does it mean to apply those criteria then to a business. And the first one is an example from Austria, is a restaurant in the Alps, an organic restaurant that is very active on waste reductions. So for instance, they have nose-to-tail cooking or on-site composting. They directly compost the waste from their kitchen on site, and they avoid the packaging, or they use ecological packaging where it's possible, and offer takeaway boxes for the leftovers. The other 2 examples are from Bonaire in the Caribbean, the Dutch Caribbean. Those 2 are dive centers. The first one is very active on local conservation, because they do regular cleanup dives. So their customers, they can join a dive which is also meant to clean up the reef, the coastal reef and beaches, and with some selected areas with specific programs where the trash that hasn't become already part of the reef is collected and thus removed, and so the reef is protected. The other dive center, as you can see here, sorry, I didn't mention the Dive Friends was the name of the second example, as you can see here. The third one is VIP Diving, that offers internships for local students and also young people, which provides a weekly training about the fragile system of planet Earth, and this makes possible to train some rangers who will get classes on dive ethics and how to, and knowledge on how to protect the natural resources. They will be trained and will become nature ambassadors from Bonaire to then spread awareness all over the world. And so that was presentation. I don't know why it's not going on. Let me see. Probably I have problems with the last pages. Anyway, here you can see it. That was it from my side. But before I finish, here you can see the contacts for those of you who want to get some further information. I left you here the contact, our main contact for the Americas. It's our technical assistant, Elizabeth Boone. You see here her email, elizabeth@greendestinations.org. And for inquiries on Europe, we have Olga Skepitari, our technical assistant for Europe and Africa, olga@greendestinations.org. And I would like, before we start the discussion, just to briefly introduce you to our technical assistants, which are who are here with us today. So I will give the floor to first Elizabeth and then Olga to introduce yourselves to our audience today, and tell a little bit about who are you, what do you do, and then we can start a discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicola. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the call today. My name is Elizabeth Boone. I am the technical assistant for the Americas. So I help businesses in this region of the Americas with the whole certification process. I'm also the main contact person for the representatives and partners that we have in the Americas. And I'm also responsible for any of the updates or work that we do within the Good Travel program. So the training of the auditors that we use them for the certification process and for updating the certification. We also did an update on the virus aware skill to make it more relevant to the current situation. So any business or destination that is in the Americas region can contact me and I will guide them.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I think there are some issues with the microphone, probably with some noise in the background, I don't know, but if you can maybe find some headphones, something, it will be better. And thank you for introducing me yourself. And I'll give the floor to Olga, please.
Hi, all. Can you hear me? Perfect. So my name is Olga Skipetari. I'm from Greece. I'm based in Patras. I work in green destinations in the HR department and also as technical assistant for the Good Travel program for Europe, Africa, and Turkey. I'm responsible for the technical part of the certification process, so I'm here to answer any questions you may have. You can also always contact me at olga@greendestinations.org. Thank you so much and nice to meet all of you.
Thank you very much. And let me give a couple of words before we start the discussions. I really thank you, all the team. Very, very nice to have you all here. We still, with some of you, well, even with Nicola, we still didn't meet in person yet. So I think Athens in October. I know in September, sorry, our Global Green Destinations Day will be the moment. I appreciate very much this presentation. I think it's very useful because we have the whole overview of what a business or even as small as destination should do at these critical moments of recovery of the tourism. So I think is very important, and I think also because today we are not many because it's logical is within this ISTO week there are so many activities during the 5 days in every continent. Every organization is doing so many stuff that it's difficult to have a big numbers, but the most important thing is that everything is recorded. It will be shared in our websites. It will be shared within the website of ISTO. Many people said that for sure during these days is very difficult to join if we do it at this time because we want to favor the guys in Latin America, for example, but then it's not so good for the people in Europe. So it's always like that, but I really appreciate it. And then I think is the moment if anybody of the participants, I have seen some good friends, if they want to put some questions to open the debate, any of the present participants in the webinar, or if you want to say something else, Nicola, or
I think it's good to have some inputs from the audiences so
sure.
we can understand what's maybe the main points of interest for them. So we are available.
We are not many, so we can do it to the micro open. I see my friend Concetta Demma, which is starting, yes. which is pretty usual. So very welcome, Concetta.
Hi, Jose Maria. Hi, everybody. I'm sorry I cannot use my webcam now because I'm outside. I was traveling, so I'm sorry for that. I was listening so far, so thank you for sharing this project. And as you know, I also into everything that is about green tourism. I'm curious to know. I don't know if you told before because I had some problem with the connection, but I'm curious to know if you have more. I don't know, maybe hotels or restaurants or destination that are enjoying so far this program.
So yeah, we have. Thank you. Nice to meet you, by the way, Concetta.
Ciao, Nicola. Thank you.
Ciao. Thanks for your question. And yeah, we are now in. We have about 100 businesses that joined us, and it's definitely very helpful for them to start this journey. But for most of them, it's just like the beginning of a long journey. So we have, as I mentioned before, different types of businesses. So definitely also restaurants. You've seen some examples of a restaurant or diving center, but also activity providers like tour providers or tour operators or travel agency and so on. Right now we are in let's say in a moment where we are launching a new strategy to make this program available and worldwide. So that's why we, in the recent months, we developed new strategies, a new team, and we hope that we can better answer these questions in the upcoming months, because we think that after I mean, working so much with destinations, we are now looking forward to disseminate as much as possible these practices. So far, we have many businesses who were certified with Good Travel Seal, and they are on their way to improve these practices. So there's still much to do for them. But probably to better answer these questions, I can mention that we are also working on collecting good practices from our businesses, and we will be launching soon, in the following months. We are still working on this, a competition that wants to be a worldwide competition, but also a national competition. So a network of competitions around the world. And we are planning to start this in Athens, as mentioned by Jose Maria. There will be the Green Destination 2022 event in Athens, which is the city of Athens is the sponsor of the event. And by doing this, we are trying to get more businesses on board with this contest, that it's all about sustainable practices, and it will be a contest based on like photos, videos, or images that tell their sustainability practice. So we are in this process of developing this new strategy, and we hope to have many more examples coming in the future months.
Okay, thank you, Nicola. And, if I can ask
Please.
you another question, okay.
Sure.
Well, what are the main challenges that you are facing with all these kind of businesses so far?
So the challenges, well, I can tell from my point of view, but then maybe Olga or Elizabeth want to add something to this, because they are also in contact with the businesses. But for me, it would be the biggest challenge is before looking into the criteria. So on reaching out to businesses and have them interested in investing in this kind of program that takes, as you can imagine, many years. It's an investment on the long term. So to me, the big challenge is to in some way convince the businesses. So to have them realize where is the connection between the sustainability performance and, as mentioned before, a better management. So many people don't really see immediately when they are talking about sustainability that they are also saving money and improving also their income for the future, and all at the same time while targeting new customers. So probably it's very hard to embrace a long-term vision for that. That would be the first thing that comes to my mind. And if Olga or Elizabeth want to add something about what are the challenges related to businesses, you're very welcome to give your point of view also.
I support Ernest. I don't know if you can hear me well, I'm sorry. I support what Nicola says, that it's true that, especially here in Mexico, for example, businesses are a little bit reluctant in joining the certification program because they have to pay and they don't realize the benefits that being part of this global network will actually bring them. So this is what we really need to promote, and this is what we're working on. Is really let me know if you can't hear me well.
No, we can hear you, but there is the background noise is very strong. If
let
you
me try without.
try to
Very
adjust.
difficult to understand, really. Sorry.
Do you hear me better now, or is it still? It's because I'm outside, so there's some work.
No, it's much better. Still, we can see the noise, but now your voice is more clear. So thank you.
So I was going to say that I very much support what Nicola said, that it's the first contact with the businesses that we're still working on, and we're trying to develop as many strategies as possible, and promotional material, because obviously it is a lot of information. We do offer a lot of tools and a lot of benefits, and it can be daunting for a business to start in this. So we're really trying to have as much guidance and as much assistance for the businesses to make them join and to make them understand and realize how it will benefit them and what advantages they will obtain from being part of the Good Travel program. So I think that that would be one of our main challenges, and we are very much aware of it, and we are working on it. But I think that businesses also very much appreciate this, the ones that are part of the Good Travel program already, that we are very responsive and we really support the businesses through the whole certification process, so that we ensure that they do obtain the highest score possible and that they are able to continue with us and improve throughout the years.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That was very, very insightful.
Thank you.
I don't know.
And do you think it's more difficult for, I don't know, the millennium generation or the boomers generation to understand that everything, this path, this journey, is worth it? Or maybe some other kind of person, you just curious to know this?
Maybe Jose Maria, you want to answer this question?
I don't understand very well the question, but the thing is that
I can tell my point of view. Like
yeah, for sure.
It's
Go ahead.
Like younger generation are more aware, definitely. For me also, we've seen some studies, and there is a raising awareness on younger generation. But no, I wanted to ask Jose Maria, because maybe in your experience you have been in contact with different realities coming from also different people of different ages, of different contexts. So maybe you can give us your insight here.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. We are from different generations. This is true. So I think this is the good point of what we are doing also, not only in the Good Travel program, but also in green destinations, in travel life, all the ecosystem of sustainable tourism around. We are coinciding very, very young people, and also people that, like in my case or Albert, we are already more than 2 decades and sometimes even 3 decades on sustainability, and this is good somehow. I think in that point that I mean, not only for the Good Travel program, now we are trying to disseminate and to make it known. This is the point. This is why this year, and this part of my job, to organize these kind of things and to make the program visible in as many events as possible, joining the work done by my colleagues. But I think the main point is especially to make understand the businesses how is it useful, because somehow from some mistakes in the past, from many other certifications, and I don't want to blame anybody particularly, some businesses are a bit fed up of certifications, because they realize that at the end they invested sometimes not much money, because there has been enormous quantities of public money, at least in Spain and in Latin America, for the certification. So everything was paid, the training was paid, the certification was paid, everything, the label was paid, everything was paid. But at the end, there was not not a plan, there was not a strategy, there was not commercial networking. And then the people found that after this investment of time, illusion, maybe some money, nothing happened. They came no more tourists, they came no better tourists. And this is why we are really struggling to show that if the things are well done, this is not just a label. So this is especially what I think is our commitment now for the label, and also for my job at Green Destinations is the same. Is that we are not selling labels. This is not the point. We are not selling labels like we can sell beers. We want the people to show how they can join an ecosystem, and this ecosystem is included in many phases, and is included in all the SDGs. And for sure, there will be also some economic and commercial consequences. And when the people understand that, I'm sure they will join, but so far they are a bit fed up of the sellers of labels, and I think this is the point. For me, this is the idea we have to break, and this is the same with the tourists. The tourists also, they are used to arrive to a place where they see certification, but nobody explains what does it mean. Or they go to a place and they say, no, you have to pay the eco tax, but nobody explains what we are doing with this eco tax. So this is the point. So I have seen many for ages. We go to the door of the main door of a hotel, and there are 2 or 3 labels there. Nobody knows what they mean. So at the end, they lose the meaning, because there is nothing. There is not a kind of signposting at the hotel showing why we are in Travel Life, why we are in Biosphere, why we are in whatever. This is a reason. And then if you explain this, and you get the complicity, and you get the knowledge from the tourists, they will be ready to accompany, they will be ready to join. I think this is the main effort we have to do. And in that, I don't feel really the difference between the generations. More and more tourists in what we can call the world wealthy, healthy old people. So all the people making cruises or doing very classic holidays, they are already asking more and more for sustainability. They ask for sustainable food, they ask for sustainable fuel, they ask for sustainable packaging. So I think I don't feel personally, at least in my country, maybe we should make a big research on that if we had the money, but I don't see the difference so much when I talk to the travel agents or to operators. I don't see that difference between the generations. Maybe the millennials ask a bit more, but many young people, as they have a very low budget, they ask for the budget and not necessarily for the sustainability, even if they really understand better what it is. We have a budget problem in that. No, so I think we have a lot of things to do, and this is the good point that we are here, this ecosystem, and all the people like Concheta, like yourself, and working with us in other programs, that you are doing that. You are being ambassadors of sustainable tourism, and then at the end, doesn't matter, maybe the suitable label is another one depending on the country. That's okay. So the point is that if we build this ecosystem, it will be absolutely beneficial for every kind of business and for every kind of tourist. So this is a very long answer, sorry for that, but I think this is my reflection on that. No?
Thank you very much. You asking your answers very well, and also it's my perception, and we have to fight, let me say, against the past, the worst experiences. So we have to. It's a cultural thing. So we need to work on a rebuild a new culture behind responsible tourism, because I'm one of those eco travelers. When I go to a eco hotel or a green restaurant, whatever, and I ask her, so what do you do in order to impact less in the environment, or what do you do for your territory? And it's like, what is what was the question? And it's like, you imagine, okay, you do it just for marketing, and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna choose you again, and I'm not going to be one of your fan or your ambassador, you know. And this is the expectation, the level of expectation from one part and the other. So it's like a relationship, no, between the two partners. I expect something from the other side, and the other side expects something from me, you know. And the same thing, it's about customer and the business, same thing. And we need to fix this lack of communication and understanding. So this is, so I agree with you with all of this. Okay, and thank you for sharing this. And if I can help you to to do something to reduce this gap, I'll be happy. Thank you.
For sure, you will help us. I am sure of that. And I don't know if you want Nicola to add something. We have some 2 or 3 minutes left, and then after that, if you have Nicola or my colleagues, Olga and Elizabeth, did you want to say something? But I think that why we are here is because I think many of these small businesses, they don't do much because they don't know what to do. And then this is why also we are here. It's not only, as I mentioned, it's not just to promote our label, it's to promote that you can do something. It's not so difficult, it's not so expensive. And then if we are able together to build this culture, this will be beneficial also for the planet, which is also part of our problem nowadays, no? So if you want Nicola or the colleagues to say something before we close, I don't want to fire you just because in a bit more than 10 minutes we start the low carbon travel webinar. So this is why we have to slowly go to our end today.
Sure, thank you, Jose Maria. If there are more questions, please, you're very welcome to ask the last questions. I don't know if someone wants to ask something more, please. If not, I just wanted to add, yeah, I agree with all that you said. There is Beatriz trying to enter, so Beatriz, okay. And probably, well, one point on which I can add and stress again on what you said about like awareness of customers, also what could be the differences in the generation. Probably one important thing is transparency, as I said before in the presentation. So the great challenge, as also Concetta mentioned, for a business is to communicate properly. And there could be, coming from like how we did things so far, how we are still doing them, some, how to say, people are maybe naturally avoiding to communicate, for instance, what they are not doing well. This is a great challenge for marketing. And maybe there could be some also generation or like workflow, also work approach difference in that. It's not necessarily connected to generation and age, but more toward to a change in mentality, in culture, as you mentioned. So if new generations are maybe more ready to embrace such a different vision, which is like, I have no problems in telling you I'm not doing this, because by telling you I'm not doing this, I'm telling you that I'm willing to change. And if you come back next year or in 2 years, you will see improvement. And that's basically, for me, the best way you can communicate beyond labels, as mentioned by Jose Maria, that are more about, you know, a marketing operation, like which is going more towards greenwashing. And to me, is this like to be, let's say, brave enough to break some of these cliche taboos on there is nothing wrong. Not only there is nothing wrong, it's a great thing to be able to say, I joined the program because I want to improve, and yeah, I'm doing the best I can so far.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Nicola. So I think we come to our closing. And then I want to thank you all, you and Olga, Elizabeth, all the team coming from the Good Travel Program. I have seen some of our colleagues from In Destinations and Good Travel Program joining. Thank you, Conchetta, and all the participants, who even somebody who should left. For sure, we will repeat that in many other occasions. This is just the beginning. We'll ensure that the recording and the conclusions that I have been taking notes of everything also will be shared in the next days. Already some media asked me, they could not join the webinar, but they were asking me already for the conclusions and for the recording. We will take care of that, as our team will do also in the Good Travel Program. So thank you very much all. And then in 10 minutes, if somebody wants to join at 6:30, we will start the webinar on low carbon travel, also with the participations of a couple of projects related to low carbon travel and climate change. So this is a good complement of what we have been doing here. So thank you very much, everybody, and see you very soon.
Also,